Welcome to another community group. I'm so glad to get to join you as you spend time together and get to know each other, and let's learn a little bit more about each other. So the question is, as a kid, what was your favorite toy to play with and why? Have fun. Before we jump into James, let me just share my favorite toy to play with as a kid. I think it would be, other than sports and those types of things, as far as like toys themselves, probably my GI Joes. I had lots of little GI Joe figurines and a Jeep and a plane that took my dad all night to put together and put stickers on. And that was driven, I'm sure, by the fact that I loved watching the cartoon. And so now you know a little bit about me too, and how old I am, because that show was on in the 80s. All right, here we go. James chapter 3, starting in verse 1. Last week, we looked at the fact that a genuine faith should drive our works, and now we'll see that a genuine faith should drive our words. And so James is going to talk about the power of the tongue. And so do this. Read James 3, verse 1 through 12, and then come right back. I have some questions for us. As we see, James is reminding us that we talk a lot, and so there's lots of potential for us to have problems, to sin, to trip over our words. I heard a pastor, in speaking through some of this text, say that 1/5 of our life is spent communicating with words, like talking, and think about how much we have the potential to either glorify God with those words or to use them for other things. And so it makes sense that God would have a lot to say about what we say. And so James is going to talk about the accountability of our words and say that the tongue is powerful and impossible to tame on our own, and it wants to run off. It's restless evil, and it's got poison, and it's set on fire from hell. Like all these very strong words about the destructive force, but also about its ability to lead and direct our lives in positive or negative, depending on what comes out of our mouths. And so my question for you to start this off is, how have you seen the words of others impact your life, either positively or negatively? Spend a few minutes talking about it. All right, this one's going to be a little bit vulnerable. When is a time that you lost control of your own tongue? And what was the outcome? None of us have been perfect in what we've said all the way through. So don't worry, you're not alone in having spoken without restraint. But I think it's important that we recognize that we've done so and what has happened because of it. So spend a couple minutes answering, when is a time that you lost control of your tongue and what was the outcome? I didn't mean to make it super negative, but there's clear warnings by James to understand the power of our tongue and that it can be a destructive force. And you've probably seen that in your own life from others talking to you, you talking to others. This is kind of a follow-up to that, because I think it's important when we recognize that we've done so to deal with those things. And so the question is there anyone that you can think of that you should repent to because of the things you've said? And when will you do so? Talk about it. I'm glad we put some timelines on it, because if not, we probably won't take care of those things. So I'm praying with you and for you to do those things, have it be a reconciling work and winning over your brother or sister. And also, I just think it's important that we see that we can't tame our tongue. We must submit our hearts. That is out of the overflow of our heart that our mouths speak. And so just making sure that when trying to deal with our tongue, it's not just us having a tighter grip on it with our hands, but it's us submitting fully our hearts, and that will change the outcome of our words. And so I love you. I'm praying for you. Make sure you pray with each other, for each other, about anything you need prayer with, and I'll see you on Sunday.